This is a 3D printed 1/10 scale model of the BMW M4 G82, and it's the latest addition to my collection of 3D printable car models. All of my designs are available for free on MakerWorld, and links to the files are in the description. In this video, I'll walk you through how to print and assemble the M4. I was undecided between the F82 and the G82, so I ran a poll before making a decision. And G82 won by a wide margin. Here are all the body parts laid out. If you are familiar with my models, you'll know I'll try to design them through minimal painting. And this one is no exception. Only the headlights and the taillights need paint, and if you have an AMS, you can print them in multiple colors. I've separated body parts into two print profiles. Bigger parts are in body panels and printed with a default 0.2mm print setting, and small pieces are printed with 0.08mm extra fine print setting. Make sure to have a clean build plate before printing. Most of the parts use supports, and if you are having addition issues, try increasing the initial layer expansion. Assembly is straightforward. The front fenders, doors, and quarter panels lock into the center bracket. One side is marked with an F to indicate the front of the vehicle. Before gluing the parts together, do a dry fit first to understand how they connect. I printed the body panels in white because I have way too much white filament, and painted the whole car red after assembly. Repeat the same steps for the opposite side. To join the two sides, I printed these small brackets and attached them using 4 metric 3x5mm screws. Be sure not to use longer screws, they can punch through the body panels. Once the sides are connected, glue the hood in place, followed by the upper trunk section. Then, attach the lower trunk piece to the rear bumper and glue the whole assembly to the body. There are features on the sides of the front bumper that go into the front fenders. These should help align the bumper, allowing you to glue it to the body. Next, glue the lower door skins on both sides. They should lock into place. At this step, I glue the roof rails. For proper alignment, I am temporarily placing the windshield, rear glass, and the roof to guide the positioning. These parts aren't glued yet. I've also printed the roof in white. The real M4 has a carbon fiber roof. To replicate that, I will paint it dark gray. Once everything is aligned and the glue has set, I remove the roof and the glass. The model is now ready for painting. Here's how it looks in red. Just spray painted, no sanding or primer. I forgot to add the door handles before painting, so I had to glue them on later and repainted that area. Now, glue the rear glass, roof, and the windshield in place, followed by the side windows. Be careful with the glue, I accidentally smudged the paint on the left quarter panel. Now attach the side skirts. These can shift, so hold them steady until the glue sets. Then the rear diffuser and the side pieces. These should snap into the rear bumper. Glue the exhaust tips to the muffler, making sure the shorter tips are positioned on the outer side. For the best appearance, print these parts in gray filament to achieve a realistic metallic look. I didn't have gray filament available, so I printed them in black and painted them gray afterward. The entire assembly should then snap into place on the rear diffuser. Next, snap the side badges into place, then the antenna. The side mirrors are split into 3 pieces. You can print the upper section in either the body color or black, depending on your preference. I choose to paint them black. Once the mirror pieces are assembled and glued together, you can glue the completed mirrors onto the body. These small pieces are glued behind the air duct and are meant to add some detail. Then assemble the grills and the air ducts as shown. This piece is meant to add some more detail behind the front grills. Glue it onto the front splitter first. Once assembled, glue the entire front splitter assembly under the front bumper. Then add the rear wing. And these pieces replicate the trim on the side of the windshield. They should be gently bent to shape and glued in place. Be careful when applying glue to avoid excess. And lastly, add the brake ducts. They should slide into the openings in the front bumper. Test fit them first and glue in place. The body is now nearly finished. These are the parts for the display chassis. I aim to keep the design simple to make the printing as straightforward as possible. The corner modules follow a similar design to the previous one, so the assembly should feel familiar if you built one of my earlier models before. The parts are screwed together, and here is the list of screws you need. Assembly of the corner modules is identical. The front knuckles have an extension for the steering link, which should face the front of the car. The larger brake discs and calipers are for the front, the rear ones are smaller. For corner assembly, use a metric 3x25mm screws to attach the small disc first. Insert the axle onto the knuckle and screw them together. Also note that the upper and lower arms are different. These are the lower arms and this side should face down. Then screw the whole assembly onto the wheels. Make sure the calipers are properly aligned. I received many comments about the TPU tires. If you don't want to deal with printing in TPU, I am also sharing PLA tire option this time as an alternative. The wheels are split into 2 parts. The top part can be printed with variable layer height to improve surface quality and reduce the need for supports. I've also included another wheel design as an option. You will need to print both the top and the bottom parts for the selected wheel. Wheels for TPU and PLA tires are different, so make sure you print the correct version. These are the rear frame parts. The lower brackets slot into the side pieces. Make sure the screw holes are facing outward. The upper bracket is secured in place with 4 metric 3x8mm screws. The entire rear frame is then screwed onto the chassis plate. Use metric 3x8mm screws for the bottom and metric 3x12mm screws for the sides. The front frame assembly is similar. Connect the two sides using the upper brackets with metric 3x8mm screws. Use the same metric 3x8mm screws for the bottom brackets. Then, attach the entire front frame assembly to the chassis using metric 3x8mm screws for the bottom and metric 3x12mm screws for the sides. Next, slot the corner modules into the frames and secure them with metric 3x8mm screws. Add the steering link between the front knuckles using metric 3x8mm screws. Assemble this bracket to the rear frame with the same screws. Then attach this piece to the front splitter on the body using metric 3x10mm screws. Now mount the entire chassis to the body using metric 3x8mm screws. The static version of the car is nearly complete. I forgot to record the assembly of the headlights, taillights and rear reflectors, but they simply slot into place. These are printed as one piece and painted. As mentioned earlier, you can also print them in multiple colors. I have included a separate print profile for that. Lastly, I've added these caps to hide the holes in the wheels. And here is the completed model. I'll probably need to make another video for the RC version, but if you don't want to wait, here is the breakdown. It uses the DKS basic again. I modified the wheelbase and track width of the chassis. It has a shorter front frame, which is assembled all the way forward. You will need to print the front bars, steering links and the rear axle. You will also need these magnet holder brackets attached to the body. Make sure to use the shorter front splitter when building the body for RC version, so it doesn't clash with the chassis. It is included in the RC chassis print profile. If you want to print one for yourself, the link to the files are in the description. I would really love to see your finished models, so please share them. And if you want to see more 3D printed cars, make sure to subscribe to the channel.